What is going on, everybody? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. You're looking here at a chart of the S&P 500, and before we get into some important technical levels and discussion, we're going to take a look here at the triple Q. You can see that it's a touch off all-time highs. Wow. Look here at the NASDAQ, same exact thing. We are talking about, this is just shy of new all-time highs. Would you have believed this? Just going back 2 months ago during the height of the crisis. Take a look here at the Dow. Wait a second. Follow my mouse over here. That is up into some resistance. This is lagging. If anyone's familiar with Dow theory, and it's been about 17 years since I took a look at it, I do believe that if you have one index making new all-time highs and the other is not following, that is not a good sign. Now, not here to call tops. Nothing like that at all. We're here to take a look at the charts and see how we could best navigate what is currently going on. And we can see here on the S&P, since we've poked up out here, we're now into some pretty strong resistance like on the Dow. We've been up now. We've been up 7 of the last 8 days. Before we look at what is going on, the technicals, let's look what the Fed is doing. And I want you to be aware that this is the Fed's daily treasury purchases. It has been dwindling, and yesterday was the lowest level yet. Now, how soon before the market starts throwing a taper tantrum? We'll have to wait and see. This is something to be concerned about, something to keep your eye on. Now, what else do we have over there? We have some data. We have some data that is definitely pointing to a rebound. We are seeing U.S. manufacturing's going up to 39.8 from a 36.1. U.S. services up to 37.3, up from 26.1. ISM U.S. manufacturing 43.1, up from 41.5. Below expectations. ISM U.S. services 45.4, up from 41.8. We are definitely seeing a rebound. However, is this pointing to any type of V-shaped recovery? Everything is still well into contraction. This over here was just released by the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO. And if you take a look at what they're projecting, and you have to know, they always overestimate. They always overestimate. And what they have pointing, it will be approximately 10 years till we see actually a recovery. Market's pricing in something altogether different. We're not going to fight the market. We are going to not fight the market, but we want to be aware of our surroundings. By the way, Trump, big news today, Trump has gone ahead. Starting June the 16th, he will no longer be allowing passenger flights from China to the United States. The escalation continues between China and the United States. That is something definitely to keep on your radar. At the same time, you have China here canceling some U.S. farm shipments. Among them were 23 cargoes of soybeans that has been canceled as the tensions rise between Beijing and Washington. China has moved over to Brazil to go ahead and purchase their soy. And at the same time, again, we have the NASDAQ just trading 2% off record highs, yet the Dow and S&P are having a little bit of trouble. Now, what is our play over here right now? We're going to drop down and we're going to look. We're going to first start on the 8 hour, and I want you to see the relentless up move over here. We have we have 2 full days in a row. You have London, New York, Asia, London, New York. This thing has been bid ruthlessly all the way up here now towards resistance. I know a lot of you have been wanting to go ahead and take a poke at the downside and short this thing. It doesn't make any sense to stand in the way of a freight train. Over here now, as we're coming into some resistance, what do? Let's look at a few different time frames and see if we get any type of indication of what looks like a smart play over here. Remember, time of day, the U.S. market's just closed over here right now. We'll take a look at the 4-hour time frame. The 4-hour time frame might be the time frame to be looking at right now. Come back with me to the 8-hour time frame. I'm of the mindset right now, I'm just waiting for further development over here. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the NASDAQ actually go ahead and make a new all-time high before this started rolling over. There must be a lot of stops up there. The market's always keen for looking for stops. There could be a lot of stops right over here as well. Now, if my risk is obviously not to the upside over here, as it hasn't been for the last few sessions. There's no way I'm going to be taking a trade here on the long side, even if we have an exhaustion move up here and we see price continue to move upwards without relenting. However, the first possible indication that this is rolling over for me will actually be found on the 8-hour time frame. I am moving up all the way to the 8-hour time frame, and I need to see a full session trade lower than the previous session before it. As we're into some resistance right now, it looks attractive. It might even be tomorrow. We'll have to watch and see what happens. I don't think it won't be during Asian session. Could be during the come in London session, or it could be during New York tomorrow. This could actually keep going up. Might come up a little bit higher. We might take out some stops over here because there are some stop losses that are really close to triggering right now. We'll see what happens. I'm more of the posture right now, comfortable on the sidelines, waiting for this mania, and that's exactly what it is, to subside. The market right now is currently shaking off everything possible. It's shaking off the riots, which are now global, throughout all of the United States. The fabric of society is deteriorating. You're seeing the trust dwindle and dwindle. You're seeing they're trying to paint it as a race war, but really it's a class war developing. And now that is starting to spread throughout other places in the world, is also shaking off the rising tensions, which is clear as day, between the US and China. And that's what bull markets do. They continue to shake off bad news and climb that wall of worry. It's not going to be too long before we start seeing some solvency issues. June is going to be a really interesting month. It's a make or break month. If we get by June and we continue to have this bid in the market, I think that there's a good chance that we'll continue. The market, it may trade, it might consolidate at times, but it'll continue, I think, making legs up throughout the summer until we get into September or October. Now, June, though, could see a big turn. We're going to see some bankruptcies. We're going to see to see if the conversation switches over right now, and that because the conversation about solvency compared to the expansion of the balance sheets. Right now, everything is really rosy and looking good in the global credit market. That could start changing as a domino effect takes off. Watch out for it. This is not something right now that I'm looking to buy into. Who knows? Maybe next week I will be ready if we're able to go ahead and take out this resistance over here, and then we're able to consolidate to be looking at the long side, or if we're able to pull back. If I could get into a zone that's a lot more comfortable, pulling back into a strong support, I will be looking for the buy side. But after seeing 2 full sessions in a row, again, London, New York, Asia, London, New York, has been relentless bid up to the upside. That's going to subside. For me, the earliest indication that I'll be looking to play the short off of this resistance over here, because we're still in a downtrend. Are we in a downtrend? Actually, that's debatable. That's actually now debatable. But we're into some resistance. NASDAQ on the verge of making new highs. Dow and S&P lagging big time. We'll see what happens. Take that posture. You're right now, the sidelines is a great place to be. You are not missing out. You're not missing anything. You're waiting for the right time to attack. It's better than being in a long position right now, which is high risk. It's better than being in a short position you're holding on to. Don't do that. Hope is not a position, but the sidelines is a fantastic position. A lot of people don't understand that. Well, that's the difference between being a profitable trader and not. I know that a lot of you have learned that skill, but right now there is a wave of setup setting up in the foreign exchange markets. That's where I'm focusing my attention. You could join us for the live stream tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock a.m. I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.